Hello, YouTube. I stand by everything I said about the gotcha earnings for June. And wouldn't you know that the biggest corporate shill, the free-to-play god himself, the mint picker, Tectone, wants to justify these numbers because guess what it does reflect? It reflects a negative trajectory for Wuthering Waves. And someone who is trying to bet their entire fucking new house on Wuthering Waves and Kuro Games being successful for the next foreseeable future because he's burnt his bridges at Hoyoverse. He can't get any money from Zenless Zone Zero. He can't get any money from Honkai Star Rail. He can't get any money from Genshin Impact, or at least that's what he says. Who knows if that's true or not, because he is one of the biggest gacha creators out there. But let's just say it is. He's betting his fucking whole entire house on Kuro Games, and God knows he needs to make some fucking excuse as to why these numbers are so low when it's a launch game and it should be extremely high. It should have blown both Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact out of the roof. Here's the corporate shill trying to justify these numbers to make it not look as bad, and it's so disheartening. And trust me, it's fine because next month you're going to see the reality. It is not going to be good. It's going to be horrible. So you can spend another 30 days in Wuthering Waves and another 400 hours. I don't know how much the math translates. And you can waste your fucking time on that game, just like people waste their time on other games that are just failing ships, that are just on the decline, that have no business being played or invested in. And if any gacha game is not worth being invested in, and you play in a free to play, guess what? It will end. EOS will come. All your stuff will be wiped away. So good luck. If it's single player games, it's not the same. You can play them forever. We're talking about gacha games, talking about live service games. They have to be supported.
Made $1 million more than Genshin Impact. But hold on.
But hold on. But hold on. But hold on. But hold on. But hold on. But hold on. I really truly despise Tectone. I really truly despise him because he doesn't. I'm making a video. That video is gonna come out relatively soon. It's gonna be a banger. I think. I hope. This guy is not in it for the right reasons, my friends. He never has been. He pivots whenever the industry needs him to pivot, just to make sure that his numbers are good. Okay. He's one of the most selfish people I've ever met in my entire life, and that's fine. You know, it's a very successful mentality to have, and more power to him for being successful. But I'm giving it to you straight.
But hold on. Honkai Star Rail dropped from 36 to 32 million on global. Genshin Impact in China made 38 mil. And Honkai Star Rail jumped from 55 mil to 60 million. Now, here's the interesting part.
There is no interesting part. There's zero interesting part. There has to be a caveat here because otherwise he's going to look like Wuthering Waves is not worth investing in. And he can't have that narrative because he needs to have Wuthering Waves be successful. This is everything to him right now in the gacha space. And he covers the gacha space exclusively. He's not Asmongold. He's not Mizkif. He does gacha. He needs gacha to succeed, and Wuthering Waves is the biggest prospect for future sponsors, for tournaments, for content in general. Whether he's playing it or not, he needs to be able to have the narrative that is successful, period.
Unfortunately, all the numbers that I've shown you are null and voided.
It's not null and voided. It's not. I don't know why you opened that can right there. Just to delay it even more because he's all about the art. I was watching one of his videos. I've done a deep dive. I've gone back 4 years. He has a history of, I guess he was in professional wrestling at one time and he got injured. So yeah, I think this is all just an act before he gets to the actual numbers, okay? Make us wait that long just to get to the numbers. Because he has it pulled up. He's got 8,000 viewers on a day, you know, 6 to 8,000. He's got it pulled up. It's not like he's gonna be like me and not have it pulled up.
Now you might be asking, why is that?
Why is that?
You might be asking, why is
Why is that? Go ahead, set it up. Set it up. Make sure you put on some frosting on the cake there for your chat so that they can fully slather themselves in all the sugary goodness that you're going to present to them. So they'll be like, oh, Tectone, yes, my liege. Yes, my demon god. Yes. What do you got to say about it? Oh, yes.
that? Okay? And this is what really breaks my heart about this revenue.
Oh, my God. Of course it does, because you have to spin the narrative that Wuthering Waves is a success when it absolutely is not. It's a failure. And from this day on, it's going to fail even more. That's why they pushed the 1.1 before Zenless 0. And once that comes out, it's over, Doc.
Is that, unfortunately for the gotcha revenue charts,
For Android, some fucking random guy.
June,
Go ahead.
AKA Wuthering Waves' best shot at seeing how much revenue they can make via mobile.
It just so happened this came out hours after the report went live, and it looked bad for Wuthering Waves. It just so happened. It just so happened. It just so happened.
And Honkai Star Rail's best shot at setting a record for the most revenue any banner has ever made is completely null and voided due to the fact that the charts were frozen. For 15 days of this patch, the beginning 15 days of this month, were completely frozen on iOS, which is a massive fucking shame because we aren't able to truly see.
I'm waiting for him to get to it. This is supposedly in the Reddit Gotcha Gaming subreddit, Reddit, whatever you want to call it.
How much they were going to make or not.
It does not matter. That reflection, even if this is true, which I even questioned the person that posted this and the actual data behind this. But even if that is true, they're not going to make that much more Wuthering Waves comparatively. Honkai has the chance of making a lot more, but I don't even think it did. I think the numbers are pretty close to being what they are going to be. And it makes sense based on, the different kind of month-to-month dates. And we can go back to the months, like, January, February, March. You can see the declines, the increases on each of these games. It's all very similar. And there's a reason why it's similar. Yes, Honkai Star Rail just had a Firefly update, so it shouldn't be 60 million. It probably should be 70 million. But it's a difference of, like, what, 5-10 million potentially? And Wuthering Waves is not going to benefit more than potentially Hoyoverse, in my opinion, because we already know there's too many free-to-play players that play Wuthering Waves. And the biggest one is the content creator Tectone, who plays it free-to-play. It does not support the game. And if you don't support live service games, they go away.
And so it is with my biggest regret.
This isn't. Well, you have to spin this narrative. You have no choice but to spin this narrative.
To my chat, we don't actually have accurate numbers.
Right. And so this guy is God of my toenails. That's his name. And listen, I'm not going to be criticizing his name. There's some weird-ass names on the internet, weird-ass names for mods. They'll pick any name. So that doesn't indicate his credibility or their credibility at all. But at the same time, I just find it oddly convenient that this would come out right when the numbers don't look as good as they're supposed to for investors and for content creators and for people that are trying to gauge where they want to actually spend their time. It's just kind of convenient that this is the way it is. And whether or not we'll get a recomputated numbers or not, or whether it'll just kind of just transfer over to next month, who knows, right?
For what happened. I'm going to read this here. Sensor Tower had been frozen after its 15 days. So the post you're seeing is only accounting the first 15 days of June. So many banner revenues aren't included. It's very misinforming, and as a result, has very low numbers on all games, despite it being a massive month of the gacha industry. The numbers.
Right, and the problem here is that is this credible? Maybe, possibly, potentially. But what it definitely is it spins a narrative that whatever you're seeing on those charts is not as bad as everybody thinks it is, which it is bad, which means that Hoyoverse owns 70% of the market share and everything else is just declining, essentially. That's what's happening, whether you want to believe that or not. Now, if these reports are true and that data was, frozen, then yes, it's a benefit to the gacha scene because right now it doesn't look good. But it's not going to increase Wuthering Waves to the extent that it's going to be successful because this was a time that it should have eclipsed. It should have got 80 million. It should have got 70 million. It had to get those numbers. It had all the characters available. It had 2 banners You know, obviously one that was a couple days old, so it wouldn't have been able to accommodate everything. But in my opinion, 1.1 was not successful. Okay, 1.1 was not successful, and most people that pulled on that banner were most likely free to play. This game is not being supported like Hoyoverse, so it's already done, my friends. So whatever narrative Tectone wants to fucking spin and kind of convey with his audience, because he needs to literally double down to ensure that his house in the next year or two, his mortgage is paid, then that's on him. You know, nothing, not taken away from him. This is what salespeople do. They'll spin whatever narrative they can. But believe it or not, this data, I don't believe it. And even if it is true, Wuthering Waves is a colossal failure. And if you're going to continue to invest your time in that game, it being free to play, it being not supported, then, you know, I think it's a waste of time, in my opinion. My name is Plazukas. If you like this content, like, subscribe. I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.